Liz is just listening because she's at her other job. And I say other job because you guys have 2 jobs now. We have 2 jobs. If you're working another job, it's just that you have 2 jobs. You're full-time. You no need to say I'm part-time in one and full-time in the other. I just, you know what? Real estate is a full-time thing always. You're always keeping your minds and your eyes on the market. You're always listening and watching. And you know what? If somebody needs to go see a house on Saturday, Kristen, you can go show them the house on Saturday, right? Or Sunday, or maybe tonight later on after the other hours of the other job. I just want us to not feel like we are tied to that other opportunity that we have right now in our lives. So, hold on one second. Let's see, unless you started. Nope, let me just make sure. This is Daniel. Copy link. There you go. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on in your heads. Where are we at? What frustrations are we having? Struggles, or what challenges did we overcome in this week that you'd like to share out with some of the other agents? Go ahead, Viola.
Hi, Mary Beth. Hi, everybody. So I've been trying to set up my Facebook business page, and I'm having problems with, like, it's not accepting my name. It just keeps on blocking me. And I'm not sure who I should reach out to. I reached out to Reese. She sent me the signature block for the email, but I didn't hear from her about the Facebook. So is there anybody that you can send me, you can advise that I can reach out to?
Sure.
That's one. And
so does anybody ever have a challenge with the Facebook page though? Are you guys all setting up a business page? Yes. Okay, Kristen, I see Esther, you got a business page getting set up. Amal, you did not yet. Okay. So the next thing that you will need to do is you do need to set up a business page in Facebook. There is a class for it. However, to Viola's point is that it's not accepting your name.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Somebody I would reach out to for that specifically would be Elise.
Okay.
Elise or Chris. Elise Dunleavy, Chris Garafa, a little more advanced in social media.
Okay.
And if they don't have the answer, then maybe they would have who we could get an answer from. Are you, what are you trying to set it up as?
Just my name, like Viola Rujeje Kamara Holmes.
Okay.
And it just keeps on blocking me.
Okay.
I mean, last week I even asked my son to help me, and we sent an email to the Facebook people and they didn't get back. So I was thinking maybe there's something that I'm not doing correctly.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay. Did you have another one? Because I feel like you have something else written down.
Yeah. Today, during the team meeting, a few things were written in the chat box that were not, addressed. And I was wondering if maybe we could touch on them since we are all new. Shadowing, do you have like senior agents who would be willing to be shadowed?
Yes.
Would you advise advise on mentors? Like I would like a mentor or somebody I can shadow within my area of like from where I live in Paramus or Ridgewood nearby.
Okay.
If you could give me that would be helpful. Yeah. And the other thing,
shadowing and mentoring and your Facebook page.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So great. And I see we have Debbie just joined us, and who do we have over here? Disco phone. Who's disco phone? It's got to be Daniel. Is it Daniel? Are you disco phone? Disco phone, you're muted. You got to put your name in or unmute you so I could hear you. I feel like you're a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to be. I'm not having much fun trying to log into Zoom with my phone, though. Any idea on the meeting ID number?
Yeah, I can send it to you.
I'd appreciate that.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to talk and I just didn't get it to you.
No
let me go ahead and give it to you.
All right, let me.
And
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just trying to.
No, it's okay. This is the right space for it, right? So this is where we want to get ourselves acclimated to what our schedules look like, what tools we use. So let me just get you the actual meeting ID. All
Thank
right,
you.
are you ready for it?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, 856
All right.
6383 1524.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat there. This is the Zoom room ID if you need that from your laptop, if you can't, Okay,
Yeah.
I already put my name and I invited people to follow my page, but it wouldn't allow me to invite all my Facebook friends to follow my page. Yes. So there are definitely some struggles on Facebook, but I'm going to encourage you two things. Number one is you get to the Facebook class, which is offered in the latter part of the week. And I'll show you that schedule when we're done with that. And the second thing is that you do need to make sure that you have both going. So when you have your business page and your business page is set up, we need to also share that with our personal profile. Because in our personal profile, and I see Esther nodding, right? Because you have all your friends and family and everybody who knows you, Esther, is in your personal profile. They're watching you raise your kids. And there you are. And now you have this disconnected business Facebook page that nobody knows is connected here. We need to do a lot of marrying and just showing that, hey, we're going to share that post that you put on your business page, share the entire post on your personal profile. And then you want to ask people on your personal profile to like your business page. It's a lot of work to do that, but you're really trying to get your audience. So it has to be a concerted effort. You can't just be like, well, I did it once, or I put it out there and it's like every day you're looking to see how many more, can I get to 1,000? Can I get to 300? Can I get to 100 first? Right? Can I get to 3? Can I get to 1,000? And then you're building and you're building. And why do you want to build that page? Is because you want an audience. So when you put a post out, there's an audience. It's not just a post for a post's sake. And that's what I do see a lot of agents do. They'll post just for posting's sake to say, I did it. They'll make the call and say, I made my calls today. But are we attached to the result that's supposed to come out of it on the other end? And although we're in really beginning, I want you all to understand that if we're doing any activity, it is ultimately to get an appointment. It's to get a referral. It's to get somebody to say, yes, please put me on your mailing list. It is not just so to do it for doing its sake. Now, when you are doing posts, and Esther, I'll get to you in 1 second. The other thing I would suggest, Viola, and to everybody, is your personal Facebook page. You should create lists of people. So I am not saying this to be whatever, but I have 5,000 friends, right? I need to spend some time to go through that. I need to kill some people that have not been communicating with me in the last year or so to make room for new people that are in my life. But even if you didn't have the 5,000, you want to create some lists of people. So Viola, you said Ridgewood Paramus is important to you. That's an area of focus for you. Well, if you were to go and post something out to everybody Ridgewood and Paramus, and that was in your post, and that was part of what your targeted market was when you did your post, if you did a targeted paid post, you'd grab every realtor in the world. Because Paramus, Ridgewood, you'd have so many agents that would come in to that group of people that you were marketing to. And that's not exactly who you want seeing your posts. Because a real estate agent in your local market is not going to necessarily give you referrals. Now, if it was somewhere else, let's say I'm in Middlesex County. Yeah, you want agents outside. And maybe there is a list that you create on your Facebook that is just for realtors. Just for in-area realtors, out-of-area realtors, KW realtors. So when you have something let's say you have a very challenging buyer, or you have a challenging listing when the market changes, and you want to be able to push that listing out and you want your realtor friends to see it, you would need a list inside your Facebook that you could market to. So it's kind of the same way that we've taught you inside of your database to keep tags and groups of people. In your Facebook and your social media, you can also organize yourself. And so I advise you to do that, because one of the things I recognize is when I do a post, yeah, I got tons of realtors, but part of my market is realtors as a coach, as a recruiter. I'm not looking for listings and sellers all the time. Like, that's not what I do. My best friend does that but you're looking for buyers and sellers. So what business will an agent be able to give you? So we want to make sure that we have lists that we are targeting for our friends and our family, people that have similar interests, Paramus, Ridgewood, and create those lists of people so that when you're posting a post, you could post it to a list. The question is, do you want to post it to your feed, or do you want to post it to a list? Do you want to post it to the list? Okay, so everything has to be, think about how much information we all get on so many things, guys. So we're disregarding messages left and right. And then you're like, wait, what? Sally sent a really important broker message? What? Because we're inundated with messages. So make yours stand out, but make sure it's getting delivered to the right group. Esther.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I've seen agents post, whether it's advertisements or listings on their personal and business Facebook pages. Do you recommend that?
I do. And like I was saying, is I do think that the better way to do it is go post it in your business page and then share it on your personal profile.
Okay.
And put a little blurb up at the top, but they'll see that it's coming from your business page.
Right.
Okay. I personally I have not worked with the business pages well. When I was still selling and when Facebook really kind of started to be a thing, I just had so many. Here's where I struggled. I had so many people that were on my friends of my news feed that I would be missing. I would have to put so much energy to create the same audience in my business page. Okay. But I'm not telling you to do what I did, because today is different than 10 years ago. So today you need to work through the social media and treat it as a database and do as much with it as you possibly can, which would be Facebook page. You could have 50,000 people there. You're going to max out at 5,000 in your profile. Amal?
Do you have any suggestion for good resource for content? Let's say I will plan to have a post every day or every couple of days. So this is too much for only the market, news or update on the market, etc. And is there any kind of interesting topics other than, talking about real estate that it would be relevant to attract the people to hook in videos and stuff?
Yep. So I'm just going to give you a couple of things right here. I'm just showing you a couple of things. Number one is, this is a non-KW. I don't know if any other coach would even tell you about this. It's called Breakthrough Broker, and there is a free membership to it. Okay. It's non-branded. So that means like white label, put your label on it, smack it on. It's going to be not the colors that we all have. And if somebody could even type it in the bottom, it's Breakthrough. Oh, Jason, you're on. Breakthrough Broker, please. Breakthroughbroker.com. Type that in the chat, and we'll go ahead and share this on the Facebook group as well. But this is a non-branded that can give you a bunch of different articles, tips and tricks for homeowners. So this is one place. The other place that I was typing is Outfront, outfront.kw.com. Okay. Now, when you go to Outfront, it says subscribe to the weekly Outfront. Go ahead and sign up to it. You're going to get these articles are going to come across your email, but this is KW's magazine, and it's our online magazine now. So you can read where there's all these different articles, and I would advise you go in here and see what's something that speaks to you. I mean, there was something about women in the workplace. This one here is luxury and leading in International Women's Day, 4 women of KW sharing their journey. So that's like inspirational. You can watch it. These guys I absolutely love. This is the coalition team, and Coalition Properties. There's some videos in here. They're changing communities. Things that you could listen to. So let's say Empire Building Podcast is phenomenal. If you go ahead and share that out with your social media, Like, hey, Empire Builders, here's a great podcast that I'm listening to. And you put that out there. Think like a CEO, the one thing. So there's 3 podcasts that you could drip out. Let's say what you did 1 a month. That's 3 months of dripping out a podcast. Let's say 1 week it's a podcast. The next week it's a website. The next week it's a property. The next week it's a breakthrough broker. Okay. But so there's some things in here. Like I said, the breakthrough broker. Another site that you should visit is NAR. And I think it's realtor.org. Takes me there. Yeah. NAR.realtor. When you all paid your $500 in the beginning of the year for your board dues, this is part of what your board dues pays for, so that you're a member of National Association of Realtors. I would tell you, here's real estate topics, land and property uses, taxes. This is a national overview as to what's going on in the market. Research and statistics. This here, Amal, to your point is, you want to like pepper it. Like, I don't know, maybe you like commercial real estate. Maybe you're the warm and fuzzies. You want to hear about inspirational. Maybe you want to know about tax benefits. Maybe you want to know about houses. So I'm just giving you a couple different places to go. Like this will give you, if you look at research and statistics. Oops. There's actually slides. I don't know why this is. There's research and statistic has presentation slides, metro area, all of that. Okay. Political advocacy. That's another place. Education, what's going on in education, news and events. So this is another site. This MLS right here, going into your stats. Now this is probably going to kick me out, but how many of you have actually played inside your MLS? Yay? Nay? Okay, Carol, I see that you've played. Play inside your MLS. You want to go inside New Jersey MLS. And the one thing I would tell you, once a month, Amal, for sure, you come right up to the stats and you want to do a market update report. They're already built for you. You go into here and you pull something from this. Let's just say you don't like all of it. You just want to do these 3, or you just want to, you have to read through it because you need to know what you're talking about. But historical new listings by month. This one here is showing us single families are in yellow, townhouses are in blue, adult communities are in gray. Okay. Historical new listings by month. As you can see, when are the new listings? The new listings, they peak every year. They peak right in that summer, This is year over year. This is 2010 to 2021. Okay, so you could go in here, and this is January and year to date. So what could I do? I could take this piece. You all should know that inside of most of your computers in the bottom, we have a snipping tool. Okay, it's snipping tool. And I could take that snipping tool and I can go ahead and just snip out the piece that I want to now copy and paste out onto a marketing piece. Okay, I know I'm going a little fast there for you, but all right, so let's review that. So you have the NAR, you have Outfront, you have Breakthrough Broker, you have your MLS. You also have commands. So going into commands, I don't want to save that. Okay, going into commands, I will advise you to go in here and spend a little time to create, Amal, to your point, maybe 4 or 8 like one-offs. That it has nothing to do with a date or a time. It's just an inspirational design that you created. Okay, so here's where we go. Right over here into the little paintbrush. And you got to go to the plus, and let's just say we want to do social, and then click next. It's going to bring us into here, and there are just a few spots that I think would be wise of you to create a few pieces for yourselves to push out. Now, these would not be links, they would just be visuals. And when I look in leadership, there is a bold tab. All of these are bold laws. These are amazing bold laws. There is no try. Motion equals emotion. Don't mistake movement for achievement. These are all motivational, bold laws that you could use, and I would pepper one a week out there, or one every other week, and you schedule them. Now, this is how easy it is. If you want to just use this, who cares if it has your KW? Who cares? Just take the KW off. Boom, done. Ready to go. If your logo is there, pull the logo in. If it's not, who cares? You don't even need a logo. It's a bold law. Just go ahead and create these. You like this one, you go and you download it. You start the download. Now it's a JPEG. Now, literally, I am going. Let me go back for a second. It's got to download. Boom, it's downloading. I'm on my Facebook, going into my favorite group ever. If I could get to it, I'm going to get there. Got to go to the home. And then I'm going to my group. And I'm just going to click on this. And this is boom. I'm going and I'm going to throw it in there. And now there is no try. And that's a motivational post that you could put out. Right? People need to hear that kind of stuff sometimes. And if coming from you, their friend, their realtor. Now, on the whole Facebook aspect, this group is more collaborative. We are going to encourage you to start your own group. Starting a page is one thing, but if you have a group of Paramus moms, Paramus real estate, resources where people could be collaborative. Okay. One other place that I would go to, I mean, there's all sorts of, if you have an Inman News is a paid subscription, but Inman has great articles as well. They're industry articles. We already talked about Realtor. Like I said, this is a paid version of news articles. Now on YouTube, let me show you YouTube. We have a Keller Williams channel. Yes, we have a BCP. Yes, we have the coaching lobby, but we also have a Keller Williams Realty channel. Okay. On that KW channel, it's right here, this red circle one. Let's get in there for a second. There may be some videos. I love this video. Lives Worth Living with Gene Rivers and Rebecca Rivers. They lost everything twice and rebuilt everything. They are amazing, amazing people, leaders in our company. He owns many offices down there in the northern Florida region. So here are some videos also. So what did we go to? We went to YouTube and we found the Keller Williams channel. Plan for a prosperous tree. This is on recruiting. There's things about culture. There's things about mortgage. Every month, Amal, to this point, every month we have a This Month in Real Estate video that comes out. It's a national video. Okay, but I don't know if they've actually made any for this year. I don't see any this year. So that's not happening. Okay. And then there's just tons of videos in here that you could, the power of partnership. There's the coalition partners. It's again amazing. And all this stuff. So that's another part, is going to our YouTube channel, going to this free broker site, going here, and then also inside of your designs, every single one of you should create this one design. Okay. The one design is under the lead generation tab. Under lead generation, it says home value. Now, before I click on that, let's see what holiday greetings is going on. This is always changing. So whatever season we're in, KW is going to give you marketing pieces for you to go ahead and just make your own and push out. And we wait. It's probably my connection. Lead generation. Okay. Right. So we're in Women's Month. I support women-owned businesses. 64% of all realtors were women in 2020. So this is some stuff about women's. We had St. Patrick's Day. Spring is here. We have the pot of gold. We have daylight savings. I mean, all of these are created for you. Amal, am I answering some things for you?
Yes, definitely.
Great,
And
Marty.
are we okay with the copyright if we take copy and paste from that from these websites like MLMS or NAR or these places? Like,
Yeah,
if it's,
I mean, listen, if it's NAR specifically and it's an article, you always want to make sure it has on the bottom, it will say supplied by NAR or supported by NAR, or leave the disclosures if you're pulling it from another site.
okay, thank you.
This breakthrough broker, no, there's no disclosures. It's just a free thing that you could just sign up for and make yourself some pieces. But this is the one thing that I want you all client love. I mean, this is one thing, a thank you, thanking your clients. You should have a piece like this that occasionally, like once a month, even on the 21st of the month, you make it like on the 21st, I always send out a piece that just says thank you. Why? Because if you start closing transactions and you start receiving the gift of profit share, well, you want to be thanking your clients, and that happens on the 21st. So that's why I say the 21st. But if you just said on the third week, I push a thank you to my clients out there. Maybe it's a warm felt video that you do, or maybe it's just this card. But this is the one that I want you all to create this week. Go in here under lead generation and click on home value. And every single one of you should have a home value post. This one here is your social square post. Do you know what the value of your home is in today's market? I mean, you should all have something that gets pushed out at least once a month to your sphere that says, that goes out to the social media, that goes to your sphere. Do you know the value of your home in today's market? The question was asked this morning on the call for Ridgewood, is there a number to get you to think about it? Okay, so all you have to do here is you got to just take that out and put this in. That's all you got to do. That's it. You could put your name, you could put your logo, you could add text, you could put, you know, Amal. Okay, so you could take that title, you could just put Amal, and then you could put whatever you want there, and you could mask it, you could save it, you could download it, and boom, it's yours. But do you know what your home is worth in today's market is extremely, extremely important, because a lot of people are sitting in your databases. And I was just talking with Kathy Verbeek, who's one of our a little more experienced. I said, now is the time that you need to look back at some of these people. She's in that age where they're retiring. They're leaving the state. Do you not think that you have people inside your database that live on your street, that you go to church with or synagogue with, that they're saying, man, I'd love to get the hell out of Jersey. I'd like to get out of here. I'd like to not have to pay these taxes, but they have no plan. They have no idea how they're going to do it, because she's got a $30,000 job. He's got a $50,000 job. They're paying the bills. The kids, I mean, there's no wiggle room. And I think that we're doing our database and our friends and family a disservice by not at least allowing them to dream a little bit. Hey, well, if there was a price that would get you thinking, what would it be? What would have to happen in order for you to move on that? Oh, we want to downsize. What would have to happen in order for you to move on that? Well, the kids would have to go. Well, aren't they leaving at the end of this year? Yeah. Okay, now what's in the way? I don't know. Could I do it? People are scared. You need to help them over that fear of, what does it take to leave the comfort of your home that you've been in for 20 and 30 years? And where are you going to go? That is a big part of a lot of our databases, being that we're in New Jersey and a lot of our developments were built in the 80s, the 70s, the 80s. People have been there since the 80s and they have not left, and they've raised their kids in very good school systems. And now it's time for them to dream and go on. Okay, so we have to help them, and we have to help them through, you know, kind of, it's the carrot, you know, you could lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink, but you can give them salt lick. You could dangle that carrot to get them to the salt lick, so then they get real thirsty and they have to drink. You want to create that environment inside of your database, inside of your messages to people, inside of your emails and your video posts. You want them to want your service, that you want them to ask you questions about the real estate market, whether they're getting into it for investing, taking equity out of their home, paying off some debt. You have young people inside of your database. They don't even know where to begin because they have student debt that they are rolling into life with. That is so big that what could be the only thing that helps them get out of it may be an asset that increases in value over 100,000 over the next 3 years. That then they take that equity right out and throw it against that student loan, and now they are free of that debt. But are we thinking about us being problem solvers? Like, I have to say, I think a lot of us come into this business thinking like, I don't know, I go show a couple houses, write up a contract, like get my closing. Maybe I list a house and do an open house and I'm really cutie on a Sunday. I'm going to tell you, it's not really that cute. It's really more about helping people walk through decisions that they have to make with their whole life. You know? So the more value we could add to people, all of those posts that I'm talking about, that's all stuff that I do on a market center level. Okay. I'm trying to do that to mirror, to like, kind of show you as an example what things. So some of the stuff I post inside the coaching lobby are more for you guys to go, ooh, I kind of like that. I want to do that on my own too. I'm going to do something like that on my page. And so I'll keep loading it up with some things that we're talking about here, Amal, to your point, so that maybe you just copy it and you share it out and you post it yourself. Now, to that point, I have some really good girlfriends that are also really great leaders in KW, that whenever I'm dry, I just go to Olivia's page, because Olivia's in Minnesota, and none of you are going to be on Olivia's page, but Olivia always has really good posts, and Allison in Long Island, and my other friend Marissa in Florida. So there is nothing. You all have your own circle of excellence. You all have your own sphere of influence. So what Amal is posting, could Viola go and post and like literally have no crossover, that like, oh, that was Amal's post? Nobody is going to know. Occasionally I will shoot Olivia a little text like, stole another one from you. Thanks, girl. Or sometimes I'll give them credit, like, thanks for the post today. Hey, thought I should share this with all of you. You know, one time she had like the lion and the sheep and I don't know, something about the lion and the gazelle and somebody's going to chase somebody. I don't know, but it was good and I liked it. So I pushed it out there. So go ahead and share. To that point, you have other like motivational speakers. Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk. He's got a potty mouth, but you know, if you want to do some shocking, like throw a Gary V message on there once in a while. People that you listen to and respect. And I'm going to tell you that if you're not a Gary V follower and you're turned off by what he has to say sometimes, don't push Gary V out, because guess who's going to be attracted to that? People who are attracted to the Gary V message, which if it's not your match, it's okay. Maybe that's for Esther. Maybe that's for Danny. And he's going to attract those. And so it's okay. But I always say to you, whatever your social media says, whatever your bank account says, that's who you are. I will tell you exactly what's important to you and show you exactly who you want to become by looking at social media and what's going on in your debit card. Now, I don't want to look at your debit card. I'm just saying, if you want to ask yourself, what are my priorities? Start looking about what you're spending money on, where you're spending time and where you're spending money. Now, if we look at, there's one other place that, and I have pushed it out a couple of times, and you should all have this. And if you don't, I want you to absolutely get it today. Inside the coaching lobby, let me make sure, if I go to search, if I put vision, yep, vision speech, okay? This is his viewpoints. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So that was great. What that just did. There is a presentation that goes along with the vision speech. How many of you have downloaded the vision speech? Anybody? Okay. So let me pull it for you. Because Amal, you can take this vision speech and you could break it apart. And it could last you all year. Okay, here it is. And yeah, if I'm too much for you guys, I'm sorry. This is just me. All right, so let me see this here, and this is a file that I wanted to upload, add a file. We're gonna go choose a file. I'm gonna make sure you guys have it. Stay organized, stay organized, stay organized, guys. It won't matter until it really matters. Okay, so I just pushed that up again, but let's go back into this vision speech, what it says. This here is Gary Keller giving you a breakdown of the entire industry. Okay, here's what matters in here, and this is a large, it's 44 pages. Okay, I'm asking you to go and download this, and you pick what you're going to use. Here's the most important part of the business. And I'd like to hear you guys on this one, is the customer is not only watching you when they're in the transaction with you. The customer comes way before this middle piece. This transaction and their experience with you on how you write a contract, how they deal with the mortgage company that you referred them to, the title, the insurance, the inspection, all of that, I am confident that you guys can control and can do a fantastic job at delivering service, okay? Here's what we fail at, the pre-transaction. And not even the searching and the showing so much, even before that. When the customer is looking for you, or you know, Esther, it's your cousin and they know you're in real estate. And so they're now starting to watch you. They're starting to look at your social media. They called you and it was like, did she answer the call? Do I have to text her in order to get a response? Like all of that is giving them customer experience. Even before you know that, oh, by the way, I want to buy something. That's why I was trying to get in touch with you. Now, when you do get in touch with the cousin who wants to buy something, how you handle them, because maybe you're like, I really don't want to handle my cousin. I want to bring in Amal with me and she's going to be my, how you introduce Amal and how you put that together is also going to be a customer experience. You're handling them. How do they do their searches? How do they stay in tune with what's on the market, what's out there, what's available for them? Are they on your mobile app? Do they have a way to search? Do you have them on a saved search? All of that is very, very important because the transaction will be very smooth if how you're showing up before they even get to you is figured out. Now, with this, I will share the best way right now for you to have people on saved searches, 2 ways. One is when you are in your command, when you're in your command, let's just go to a contact. Let me pull up Godfrey. Is Godfrey in this one? No, he's not in this one. Olive, am I in this one? I am in this one. Okay. Set yourself up inside your command and set yourself to plans. Set yourself up on a saved search. Set yourself up so you see what your customers are going to get. Okay. So here's Mary Beth Olive. She's in here. She's my cousin. We're going to get her on a saved search. We're going to create a saved search. You guys see that? Yes? Thumbs up. You see Mary Beth Olive to the left? Okay. Thank you, Viola. And then saved search is over here on the right. Create a saved search. Okay, right here, we could be adding value to people because we could set them up on a saved search for their neighborhood. 400,000 to 600,000. Keywords, let's just leave it blank. Who cares? Property type. I only want houses. Take that out, whatever. Just do a saved search by neighborhood, by area. I believe we could do zip code now. Search for a location, Perth Amboy. It's going to pop up, Perth Amboy, New Jersey. Okay. Perth Amboy. Okay. And we're going to save that search, property criteria. Going to go ahead and we're going to save that search. Now, when I save that search, and once again, this is totally Reese's gig. The zip code should be empty. All right, we're not going to go through this right now. This is totally Reese, but I want you guys to play around with this. Setting them up on a saved search in here, which I've clearly done a few times, so it happens. I now receive messages from myself with Perth Amboy properties every day. Set your people up on a search. If you can't do it in here, sometimes, yeah, sometimes there's a problem. Come into the New Jersey MLS and save a search in here. Okay, if you didn't go to your MLS, they do teach us to an MLS class. However, I can get a tutorial and we can put it on here as well on how to set your prospects up and add a new prospect and then put them to save them to a search. Okay, so this right here, if we look at what these people were telling us, these people have been telling us that they want to be able to search properties and all they want is pictures. Okay. Let me just go through this for a second. This right here, who are we competing for? 5.6 million homes sold last year. This is going to tell you what happened. The 6 categories. So when we asking what posts, if you said once a week I post market data, just overall snapshot of market data, you could go in here and screenshot here previous pandemics. That's interesting. The death toll compared to, quite interesting. The 1918 flu knocked out 50 million. Okay, AIDS in the 80s, 35 million till now. So when we put things in perspective, right? So maybe that post is putting things in perspective, pandemic perspective. Now, if we look here, here's what happened to our unemployment. This is all stuff that we could be talking to with our neighbors, friends, cousins. Prospectively, this is the Great Recession. We had this happen because of the bubble burst 10 years ago. 20 years ago, well, 10 years ago, almost 20. This is what happens in the pandemic, spiked up to almost 15% unemployment. Of course, we're feeling it. There might be a post here that I say, Amal, anybody in this category and would like to talk about what the value of your home is so that we can have a plan B? What's your plan B? I'm sure you weren't planning on losing your job, but the pandemic came through and it knocked out your industry. Here, right here is unemployment and income by sector. This is showing us that leisure and hospitality, those that get paid the least by week, these are those that get paid the most by week. These are the people that get paid the least by week, were the most unemployed. And the reason why we are not feeling it in New Jersey in our housing market is because a lot of us live on the left side. A lot of our customers live on the left side of this graph. And therefore, we do have incomes that are supplying and our unemployment is low in those sectors. Gross product is a little challenging for some people to understand, so I don't want to go with anything too complicated for the customers, honestly. You want it to be simple and aha moments. Here's 19 versus 20, home sales. 2020 crushed it in the end of the year. And if you look at March and April, May, June, this is the only place where we had the dip because of the pandemic. Year over year, home sales were stronger in 2020 than they were in 2019. Want to know how that's affecting your home? What's your home worth? Contact me today. Home sales. This is showcasing from 1989 to 2020. This is showing us that the only other bubble that we had was in that 05 bubble. And we're acting a little bit like that. So what came after the bubble? Short sales, foreclosures. Anybody having distress in their property? Contact me. Let me see how I can help you before that happens. You guys following me? Like, these are telling stories. These are absolutely telling stories. To the bottom of this report, I just want to show you what customers say that they want. Okay, these actually, before I get there, two other really important slides. Inventory. Inventory being at an all-time low. Here's inventory slide that you would show. From 1999 to 2020. Inventory is at 3.1 month supply of inventory, an all-time low, which is why our prices are going through the roof. Yep, Debbie, don't worry. I just put it into the Coaching Lobby Facebook group, and you'll be able to download the entire presentation that I have right now. And you can go ahead and make your own presentation out of it, or cut little snippets. Okay, mortgage rates. I joke, but I tell you, I was riding my bike in 1989. I had no idea what was going on in the real estate market, and neither did a lot of you. However, it's our duty to understand the temperature of the waters that we are playing in right now. We are playing in 3%, where people before us played in 16 and 17%. We're playing in 3%, where the most fruitful market that we just talked about was playing at 6%, double what we were playing at right now. If this is not a time to buy real estate, I don't know when is. Why? Because let me show you something else. This one right here. These are home prices, and it kind of baffles me to think, like, well, could the prices keep going up? Like, could the $1 million house really turn into 2 million? Yes, it can. It can. And historically, it has. Maybe as we get into that luxury market, it starts to cap a little. It doesn't grow as much as maybe a $300,000 or $400,000 property. But guys, this is what has happened. Back in the day, your average price in America was $94,000. This is average in America. In 89, $94,000 was the home price. In 89, do we remember? It was 12% interest rates. The payment wasn't much different as it is today. For less of a product, because your interest rate was higher, but it was cheaper. In today's market, this right here shows us this is a 4% line. On average, 4% increase year over year, over year, over year, over year, until we foolishly lent. We foolishly lent money right here. We were lending people 105%, 6%. No docs, no worries. We'll get you a loan. Who cares? Pay over asking for the property, okay? So that was happening. And then it burst. And then we dipped down in prices. But now we are back on track, and we are back on that 4% natural increase year over year. Jeff Otto says that we are supposed to see a 5 to 7% increase in this year and next year. I'm going to have Lance do something for us, but he says 5 to 7% increase this year and next year. In 2023, he thinks that we're going to see a 2% decline, and that is it. If we look at this, I believe it. Why? Because I believe that we are correcting ourselves. We are still correcting ourselves from that mess that we had in 2005-06. But this snapshot right here, this is what, when my father was alive, I remember he would say, oh, I lost all this money. I lost all this money right here. He died in 2011. And I said to him, Dad, you bought the house in 89 and you didn't sell it. So you didn't lose anything. You still have equity. But to him, he saw this and it was like, I should sell now then, right? Because I had all this equity. And I'm like, Dad, no. So who knows the kind of conversations that these kind of charts would bring about? Housing affordability, let me share with you on this. When I got into the business, right around here, 05, 04, I would tell a customer that about 25% of what they earn is going to be spent on their mortgage and their bills and their taxes. Okay. It's right here. It was 22 technically in 05. And at the height, it was 36% of your income in the 80s. 36% of your income would go to afford you your house, your property taxes, and your insurance. Now we are in a market where, and I see you, Kristen. Now we're in a market where we're at 16%. 16% of our household income is going to our living expenses. What are we doing with the rest of it? We're paying, we got cars, we got trips, we got kids in all sorts of activities. We need to have 5 bags and 3 pairs of boots, the same color, same kind, 3 different colors, right? So we have all that. We're living above our means in everything but our real estate. The real estate is not what we can't afford. We've actually come off 36% down to 16%. It's what are we spending the other 20 that we had in our pocket that we now are like wasting? Kristen, what do you got?
So I'm in that age group where the millennials, I guess. But when that bubble happened in 05 and then the prices dropped, we were all coming out of college, going to get jobs and stuff. So now having conversations and trying to push, like, you know, the millennials still living at home kind of thing. Like, you can afford your own house, like mortgage rates are low. Interest rates are low, all-time lows, but then everyone's like, no, I'm just going to wait. The market's going to crash.
Right.
Like, how do you get past that in those conversations? Like,
Right.
yeah, you're going to pay, the housing prices are higher, but your interest rates are lower, and that's what's going to matter over time, right? It just can't get past that point with those conversations.
Well, I'm glad that you're having them, because if somebody is dead set on like, nope, Kristen, the smart thing for me is I'd like to wait for the next 2 years. You keep talking about a little bit of a dip. I'll wait for then. Keep me on your, but that's where it's keep me posted, like keep in touch with me, because maybe my mother doesn't need to wait. My mother gotta get the hell out of here. The other option I would say though, Kristen, is, and they are talking about like a, some kind of student loan relief that may also open up the mindset, even though, you know, the mindset of agents, I mean, buyers, to say, no, you know what, now I can do it. I also would say to them, okay, fine, I understand that. Here's what's not going to go down. Multifamilies. You want to seriously build yourself a little plan, millennial? Buy yourself a multifamily. Who cares what the price is? You live in one unit, the other unit you rent out. When you're ready and you meet Mr. Wonderful, Mrs. Wonderful, and you want to go buy your own first house, you're walking into your marriage with an investment property that is paid for itself, increase in value by the, so I would probably go with that spin, because that market is not going to go down. That market is just going to continue to rise. I mean, there's only one thing. I'm not saying it's going to work.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I guess because they saw it, right? Like, you saw everything, housing prices were, the numbers were going up around that, right before 05, and then they just plummeted.
But
right?
Kristen, if you show them this though, and I'm not saying it's going to do everything, but maybe they did same thing. They were riding their bike in 1989. Maybe some of them were in like a diaper in 1989.
Yeah.
If you look at the perspective is really key in this. Is wow. So we did bubble, but it doesn't look like we're above where we should be, and maybe we're not going to get. Maybe it's just going to continue to rise 4% every year, and I could count on that.
Right.
Because this chart says to me they can count on that. Even if they buy something now at the height, do they plan on selling it in a year? No, they plan on staying it in 5. First of all, what people plan on staying it, people plan on staying in for 15 years. They leave in 5. But even in 5 years, that thing is going to increase in value. So if they said, well, what if I leave in a year? No, if you leave in a year, I mean, that would be circumstantial. I wouldn't tell you to leave in a year. I'd tell you rent it out and go move into the house with the girlfriend or the whatever, and keep it as a rental. But it's interesting because, Kristen, these are conversations that I didn't get into when I was in my 20s, because we were on a market. I was so afraid to even talk to my friends because everything was at the height. So it was at 6% and it was at the height. Like nobody's buying a house. I was the crazy one who went and bought a house. So at least they're open to it. And you're just going to be the person, you know, great, Kristen. Well, could I just stay in touch with you and kind of let you know what's going on every month? I mean, the minute that this thing turns, you're going to want to pull the trigger. That sounds like, right? So the minute that we see the interest rates starting to move up, sounds like I should be giving you a call, Kristen. So let's just stay in touch. And if anybody else needs anything before you're ready to buy, please send them to me. Amal?
I have a couple of questions, please. I'll be fast. So after the basic and the advanced classes on the YouTube channels, what's next you advise to do?
Okay, so my suggestion is I would like for all of you here, if you have a database, I want to see a glimpse of it. I want you to either sum it up for me and tell me, Mary Beth, I have 110 people in my command and I have them in 3 categories, or show me it, or send it to me. I need to see that you have a database that we're working from. So because to go to the classes is one thing, but to actually take the work, and Viola, I know you've been really working on it. It's not easy, right? It's work. It is work. And it's going to be a continual work. Once you have your base of 50 people, 100 people, whatever that base is, we want that to continue to grow. Okay. So once you've got the database in place and you can honestly tell me, hey, I'm going to go into my commands, and you're going to show me that you can go into your commands and you have contacts in here to do something with, then I would tell you there's other things that we now need to do. Now I would tell you to keep going to the advanced classes until you are proficient in a couple of those things, and you're really using your Facebook page, and you're really using, you know, the saved searches and the neighborhood nurture and the smart plans, because there is so much to do inside of commands that I have been in it for 3 years now. And I am just starting to do some really awesome, cool things with it. It takes a while to understand it, grasp it. However, who in this room has gone to Ignite? Viola and Esther, right? Okay. So you're in Ignite right now, correct? The two of you? Esther,
Yeah.
you did it before? Okay. Sounds great. Esther, are you in Push?
No, I tried signing up and something, I don't know, I didn't hear back.
Okay. Registration might have closed, but guess what? It happens every month. So you could be in for next month.
Yeah, I plan on it.
Good. Amal, what I suggest is the next step is everybody gets them to get yourself to Ignite. If you cannot get to Ignite, Ignite is during the day. Ignite is usually a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you cannot get to Ignite, I advise you to get to Monday and Tuesday night classes, 6 to 7. Kristen, have you been in some of those?
Yeah, I'm doing those instead. Yeah.
Have you been finding success there for that hour?
Yeah. I mean, they give you like, they kind of bridge it and then give you kind of like what to do in the interim. They give it's like the abbreviated version, Hal said, right? You're getting the meat and not the fluff.
Right. Good. So if you can't take the day classes, or if you're just super structured and you're like, no, I got my day already scheduled, hit the Monday, Tuesday night classes, because it is going to be the meat and not the fluff. What I would also suggest though is we are going to change up the lead generation mornings. I have a meeting tomorrow. So come April, we're going to be offering a way to plug in the morning where we could all be scripting and role playing together, and then roll into an hour or an hour and a half of phone calls or touches or, you know, notes. Or what does this dog want? He's very needy.
Very cute. Oh my God.
He is cute, right? So anyway, my suggestion would be though, is you're going to have to start to create a schedule for yourself. So if you're at that point where you've gone to Ignite, or like Amal, let's schedule another one-on-one, because here's where you're at. You got to create a schedule that works for you. We have.
I usually do YouTube because I go through stuff like not in order sometimes.
Sure.
So is Ignite also, because I wanted to Ignite, and there is two on the Bergen Partners YouTube channel, or it's already recorded there. So instead of attending the classes on Monday, Wednesday, can I do it on YouTube?
I'll have to check with Hal. I don't know if he has everything there, but I'll talk with Hal. So you and I, what I'm saying though, is you and I should really jump on another one-on-one, because, and this is for all of you, if you want to just schedule me, Jason, go ahead and put in my scheduling app. Your schedule is different, each of you, what you can do, what time you could put to it. But at the end of the day, you have to be making connections. Like Kristen's making her connections. I know she's not doing it on her work time. Maybe she's doing it before. Maybe she's doing it at lunch. Maybe it's after work. Maybe it's on the weekends. So we have to find out what works for you. Also, if you have not taken your DISC assessment, please take your DISC assessment and then schedule that one-on-one with me to go over it. The DISC assessment, Rebecca should have sent out to you. It's Abelson DISC. It will help me read what prospecting activities you should really be doing. So once you get your basics and your advanced done, my suggestion is you get Ignite and Push done. Okay. Push is really going to help you with your language and how you speak to sellers.
Can you say that order again, please, Mary Beth?
Basics, then advanced, then Ignite, then Push.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, sometimes right now, David's Push is, and Dan, please schedule a one-on-one. If I have not been on a one-on-one with you, please schedule a one-on-one so we can get to know each other and I can help better guide you and make sure you guys have all the tools. But that right there is like 4 or 5 months of, well, 4 months, let's say, of training, of getting what you need for your basics. But in the meantime, you have to be connecting with people. So that database has to be working. We have to be, one thing that you'll notice inside the coaching lobby is the Facebook group. Jason pushed out today. He pushes out every week, 2 letters. Okay. The 2 letters of the week. Okay. So this post right here, and I will repost the schedule, but what are the letters of the week? Letters of the week are I and Q, and text me C. Okay, what does this mean? Can anybody tell me what this means? Go ahead, Kristen.
So you're going to call everyone under last names I and Q that week, and then text anybody with C.
Thank you. Okay, so that's 3 letters out of 26 in the alphabet that you are knocking out in 1 week just by being systematic. This week I roll in and here's who I got to call, I's and Q's. Now there is a schedule for this. It's called the DTD2 schedule. The goal with that is if I told you, oh, just call your database, you're going to cherry pick it. You are going to only call the people that you are comfortable with. You are going to only reach out to those that, you know, I don't want to talk to this one. If you have to call, and this is the schedule. Let me take this down. Jason, if you could repost this, if you could do me a favor, if you could repost this with the new dates, I would really appreciate it. Okay. So where he's at right now, March, oh no, here we are. We're at the end of it. March 22nd is I and Q and C. Then March 29th will be the last week of this cycle. And then Jason will repost the next cycle of calling through your database. Okay. So next week it's Y's and Z's and text F. If you get through this is 12, well, what is this? 13 weeks, calling 2 letters and texting 1, your database is going to get touched by you 4 times a year and an extra text twice a year. So it's 6 touches just by keeping to this schedule. Now, what I would say to the one person, I would say to all people. What are you guys saying? Hi. Hi, Mal. It's Mary Beth. How are you? I am so excited. I just want to let you know that I'm in real estate now. I got my real estate license. I'm in Keller Williams in Ridgewood. How is everybody doing? That's it. That is it. The first time round, that's all you're saying. So nice getting in touch with you. Oh, yeah. If you ever need me, yep, sure. Now, at least, now I don't feel bad. Now, next time I go and call them, now I start emailing them stuff. But the next time I go call them is not going to be for another couple months. The next time I call them, hey, Amal, how are you? Just wanted to check in. You've been getting my stuff, right? You've been getting my monthly mailer? Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. How are the kids? Hey, quick question. You're comfortable referring me business, right? You know, because 60 to 70 to 80% of agents' business, you know, we've done a study, and 60 to 80% of an agent's business comes from people that we already know. And so I was just wondering, I mean, you're comfortable giving me referrals, right? And she's like, yeah. Or she's like, no, I don't know if you know, my husband just got his license. And you're like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. Let me get him an interview with Mary Beth. Whatever it may be, it still might be an opportunity, but wouldn't you like to know if Amal's husband just got his license and here you are spending about $10 a year on her, sending her mailers? Right? I just would want to know she's going to give me referrals, right? Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Hey, Amal, who do you know at the church, on the block, at the school? I mean, who do you know that is maybe needing to sell their home this year? And you're like, you know, I just really can't think of it. You know, hey, what about your husband? What about his work? Anybody his work? You start thinking for them. Yeah, you know, I don't know. All right, well, great. You know what? Can you do me a favor? When you find somebody, could you do me a favor? Could you just ask them if it's okay that you send me their information and then you also give me their information and give them my information? Because a lot of times I find that, you know, they think I'm too busy, or you know, they don't want to bother me. And the reality is, like, I really want to help them just the way I would help you and your husband. So when you do find that referral, would it be okay that you send me their information at all times, if possible? Yeah, of course. Okay, great. And I'm going to thank you for the future business. And we're going to have a real purposeful contact that I'm asking you for business. You're approving that you're going to send it to me. I'm asking, can I stay in touch with you? Sharing with you the importance of why I'm even asking you this, because 60 to 80% of our business comes from people we already know. And that is also inside of the Coaching Lobby Facebook group in the files. It's the 6-point sphere call. Okay, the 6-point sphere call. You guys should take that. Make it your own. Make it your own. Take it. It's a Word doc. Make it your own. Make it a conversation that you're going to have with everybody inside your database, specifically asking them for the business, asking them that they would give you business. And that's it. That's your second call, though. Okay, so what I would say is the next step for you all is to get yourself into a lead generation schedule and figuring out what that looks like. Maybe for some of you, it's I'm going to do 2 open houses a month. And I'll share with you Kathy Verbeek. She had a great month this month. She took 2 listings. She put 1 buyer under contract and she had 1 closing. She also hosted 2 webinars. In one of the webinars, she had 17 people show up. In another webinar, she had 5. When I look at that, she had 22 online appointments with potential buyers or sellers in 1 month, on top of all the other stuff. So when I look at that, her lead generation strategy, if you could book 22 people in a room, well, you better do that every single month. Forget about getting creative, just go to webinars. And for her calling of for sale by owners and expireds is starting to pay off now. So she's just going to stay in those 2 lanes for the spring. Do my webinars, call my for sale by owners and expireds. Now, she also has the database working for her. And so if I were to say those would be 3 buckets that you would set up, that's pretty, you know, standard. Your FSBO expired bucket, your I know everybody bucket, and your hey, can I do a webinar? Can I do something like viral and people could come on whether they know me or not? So we'll talk through that though, but these are very advanced beginner questions because you guys are advanced beginners. Danny, where are you at in your business? You have a schedule yet?
Not necessarily, because I joined up with Kelly Weber in Ordell, so she was going to mentor me. So I was kind of like, she's out of town this week, so I'm jumping on the Keller Williams corporate training, but I'm also doing Keller Williams webinars and
Sure.
doing my own thing on the side and waiting for her instructions. So I'm kind of in this purgatory phase where I'm completely overwhelmed with everything that Keller Williams sent me. So
Okay.
I still need to get headshots. I still got to fill out my marketing. I'm like very bottom, but not overwhelmed anymore.
Okay.
I've already done a showing with Kelly and I've done an open house yesterday. So I'm getting there.
Okay. And once you start touching clients, a lot of the stuff that you're even hearing starts to make a little different sense. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I do that, or I wouldn't do that, or, oh, okay. That's where I would go
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
afraid to do the marketing. I just want to make sure I have like my present. I come from a creative background, so I want to make sure my
Sure.
aesthetic is, presentable. Like here I am, and I'm ready to go because I just want to look professional before I do that. So.
Well, if you call me Betty, no, I was kidding. I love that. You're sure. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you just still have to get to the basics of building your database, building that list of people that know, love, and like you, and finding, creating that list. Because I mean, Kelly's gonna tell you the same thing. We got to put those people into a system that can work for you while you're working on other things.
Right. Okay.
So that's email, phone number, physical address, and everybody we're meeting, ladies too, everybody we're meeting from this point forward too. It's, even if I'm talking to Danny on the elevator or somewhere and I kind of get his name and information and he's like, yeah, I'm thinking of selling it. Oh, real estate. You got your real estate on. And I might say to him, oh, you live in Ridgewood? Oh, what street are you on? What area? I'm over here on this street. You on this street? Now he says his name, he says his street. I'm like, okay. I get home and I'm on the tax record because now I just had a great connection. We were talking real estate, but maybe he didn't give me a card. He didn't give me his cell number. He didn't give me his email, but I'm going to go look for that last name in a tax record in the town that he said that he's in. That's, yes, it sounds like a stalker, but that is what we have to do, because now I'm going to say, hey, it was great connecting with you. I wish I would have got your card, but I did remember you lived on this street in Ridgewood. So please feel free to connect with me, or anything you need real estate, I'm here for you. Like, this is your business now of going to get more people and put them into your database, more people connect, because people in your database will disappoint you at times, and they will also expire themselves personally. So like, we always have to be filling the database, building it up. All right, guys. Danny, who did you say that was? Kelly who? Kelly
Weber
Weber. Okay.
with the Bergen Realty team. Roger Tashian also. Mostly Kelly's going to be my mentor though.
Okay, great. Fantastic. All right. So yes, Viola.
Don't forget me about the shadowing and mentoring for this area, so that I can start working with somebody in particular and looking at like going to open houses with a experienced agent.
Yep, absolutely. So when you have that need and you want to do that, please just email me privately.
Okay.
So that I can just connect you with one of our approved like mentor trainers.
Okay.
For that, a lot of our agents are just taking somebody along with them. Chris Odell is fantastic out of the Ridgewood office. They work Midland Park. And Chris Odell and Deb Serino, if you ever reached out to them to say, hey, could I maybe shadow? I'll connect you guys, but they're wonderful. And she just said, look, I gave a couple people an opportunity to come down to a couple open houses and just see how I work. She's like, the one girl would have had me all to herself and she never came. I'm like, well, shame on her.
The thing is, we started at a difficult time because we haven't met the agents in person at the office. So we haven't built a rapport with anybody.
I know.
That's why I'm asking for your help, that
Yeah.
if you know somebody that you could match me with, I would appreciate it. Then I would reach out to them and say, Mary Beth said you'd be willing to take me along. When can
I'll even go one step further. I would put you on a 3-way email introducing you guys so that you'll just go ahead and do whatever. But I got you. So
Thank
if you
you.
have that need, just send me a private email that you would like that and what towns you would like to focus on so I could find the right agent.
Thank you.
Hey, Beth, is Shayna is an extra thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yes. So ladies, some of you ladies got a little extra love because she wants to just empower women. And I love that about her. So I said, why don't you take a couple of the women, and I identified some of you, and I said, meet with them, let's say once a week, where we could really empower women. Like, I'll be jumping on there as well, but she's definitely leveraged for me, but that's not going to replace my time with you. It's in addition.
I got really
Thanks, Mary
confused.
Beth.
I thought we were, I got like so confused.
No,
if it
I'm
was-
sorry. And that's like totally my fault because I read her email and I was like, yeah, good to go. I didn't think there was then I'm reading through it. I'm like, I could see where maybe they thought.
Yeah, a little
No.
gray, a little gray.
I'm just giving you some extra love. Nope, you get me and her. Two dynamos over here, me and her. We laugh. But I can't I can't catch her, she can't catch me. So all right, guys. You will come back next week. Viola, you won't be coming back though. You'll be going into group 2. We've worked on stuff long enough. Esther, you'll be going into group
Thank
2
you.
as well. So we'll be pushing you guys into 2. Kristen, I just want to have a conversation with you quick to see if you're going into 2, and Amal, I want to see where your database is. Okay, so that's really what's going to decide if you're going to go into 2. Carol and Debbie and Liz and Gerard, you're definitely still here in 1 until we can get that database really solid. Okay. All right, guys, have a great week. We have an attorney panel on Wednesday. I will be recording it. If you can't make it, will be something that you probably want to watch to understand like what these attorneys are talking about, like the struggles that we're having in today's market, lawsuits to avoid. Danny, did you have a question?
No, all good. Just wanted to say thanks.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you guys. Have a good
Thank
week.
you so much. You too.
Mary Beth,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Bye, guys. Yep. Viola.
for my Facebook issue, you said I should reach out to Elise.
I would reach out to Elise or Chris Carafa, but Elise should have some solution for you.
Okay.
You know, why don't we just do this right now? Let me just email Viola and Reese and Elise Facebook page, business page,
Yeah.
name challenge. Just reply back to that email because I just put that as the topic
Okay.
and I
Thanks.
connected all of us. Okay. All
Thank
right. You're
All right,
welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good day.
You too.